Hi, my name is Marsh, and I am a CrossFit coach. I also do sports psychology consulting. So today I'm here to talk about some sports psychology concepts that can relate to CrossFit. In particular, we're going to be talking about composure. All right, you guys, so today we're going to be talking about composure. What does composure look like? It looks like an athlete who is calm and persistent, and they can perform under pressure. So we're going to be talking about what makes us lose composure, like perfectionism, and then we're also going to talk about how to remain composed so that we can perform under pressure. Let's go over, some common reasons based on research why typically athletes, lose composure. Perfectionism, number one. You have an athlete that can't, let go of those perfectionistic tendencies. It's very common that we see them get into a competitive setting, and with all the pressure and all the anxiety, if they're too hard on themselves, they have a hard time letting go of mistakes, or if things aren't set up exactly how that competition, they'd like it to be, they tend to crumble. Dwelling on errors, I would say, is the biggest reason for people not being able to move forward and do well in an event, competition, whatever. Mistakes happen, and you see athletes that bounce back and can still win an event or win the competition. It's when they let that completely take over their attitude, their mindset, and then the rest of their performance is affected. It's called the perceptual appraisal process, which is pretty much a big phrase for asking these important questions. How important is it? What are the consequences? And what control do I have? I put a few responses of how you might help them kind of reframe this. So, no competition really should be the big game. You prepare exactly the same for everyone. And hopefully you're putting in that same amount of effort. When you're on, you're on. So when it's not working, or when we have athletes that I like to call it the life or death scenario, you go into that competition and it's life or death. I mean, really nothing else matters more. What are the unrealistic consequences that you're feeling that aren't there? Nobody at my gym is going to want to support me anymore if I let them down. Really? I'm pretty sure we'd all,
right,
continue to support and be proud that you went and represented us.
Right.
So having that conversation of, I get that that's how it feels, but really, that's not how it is, and your life will continue on. Let's talk about outcome, because winning does matter, right? When we're in a sport, whether that's you're playing professionally and that's your job, that's your income, or you have put so much time, effort, money into something that it does matter. What control do you have? So many times we obsess and stress and freak out over the stuff that we have no control over. If that athlete picks up their weight or not. But I have control if I pick up my bar and what I'm thinking and how much time I'm taking between those sets. But once I start worrying about that judge or that athlete, or the event's a half an hour off and now this, and this, you're starting to get into areas that are completely beyond what you can do. Each individual, each athlete is different. So some people are going to go to the games and it's time to have fun. You made it. It's time to enjoy. And they might perceive that no matter how they do, great. And then there's others that, like we talked about, it really does feel like life or death. So knowing that they will, perceive it differently, feel it differently, and then how we work with that is kind of what makes us hopefully great coaches. Awesome. So this pretty much concludes our talk today on composure. I want to thank you guys for having me and talking about some of these things, because I really do think they can be helpful with our CrossFit athletes. And for those of you out there, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep a lookout for future lectures on sports psychology concepts and how they relate to CrossFit.